Good morning, everyone. Those of you who know my commitment to the early years agenda will, and I hope that's all of you, you'll be sitting there wondering, why are we watching this guy on DVD? Why isn't he here? You're absolutely right. I should be there, but I'm not, and you're due an explanation for that. I'm not there because about 2 years ago I took on the job of chairing a European Commission funded group to look at the relationship between worklessness and health. And some months ago it was agreed that the final meeting of the group would be on the 1st and 2nd of October, where we presented the conclusions of our work to European Commission officials. Whenever the Early Years Collaborative was arranged for the same date, I immediately tried to get out of the European commitment, but the point was made to me that it would reflect badly on me, which didn't matter, but more importantly, it would affect badly on Scotland if the Scottish chairman didn't turn up to do the final presentation. And that, of course, I wasn't prepared to put up with. And my heart is very much with you. This is really important, what you're about to do. You're in good hands, however, but I wanted to take a bit of time to try and put this work into some context. Just imagine I told you about a country, a Western democracy with a high GDP per capita, that had decided it was too difficult to organise a system for detecting and treating diabetes. It was impossible to share information about risk factors across the system, and as a result, lots of diabetics went undiagnosed. And then it was very difficult to organise a way of getting them insulin, getting them advice, getting them support. And as a result, many diabetics died early, many lived difficult lives with poor health and so on. Naturally, if I described such a place to you, you would be horrified. How could a civilised society let something like diabetes go untreated this way? Too difficult, too expensive. The situation is very similar for children. In Scotland today, we have hundreds of children on protection, child protection registers. We have many more, thousands of children living miserable lives, poor quality lives, unsupported, living in families in great difficulty. And those children are destined for failure. They're destined to be unhealthy, they're destined to do badly at school, they're destined to have difficult lives that may end up with criminal convictions and so on. The evidence around that link between the experience of early years and poor outcomes in later life is just as robust as the evidence that links diabetes to poor outcomes if it's left untreated. The challenge you're about to take on is to look at that evidence and commit yourselves to collecting the data that allows you to detect the problem and agree on the evidence-based interventions to manage it. That's really, really important. The other point I would want to make to you is that we are being watched very closely from other countries. In the past few weeks, I've had approaches from 2 Scandinavian countries, 2 countries that we look up to as being exemplars of good social services, good countries that look very closely at the relationships between the social determinants of health and outcomes. And they have been asking about what we're doing around early years. They've been wanting to learn. I've also been approached by members of the European Regions for Health Network, where they are very interested in what we're doing. And Southern European countries, just in the past few weeks, it suddenly dawned on them that they are storing up trouble for the future given the economic climate they're facing. And they have spoken to me, representatives of some Southern European countries are interested in how we are beginning to look at supporting children in early years so that they grow up to be physically, mentally and socially healthy. I said earlier on that you're in good hands. You're not in good hands, you're in terrific hands. The people managing today really understand what this is about. I cannot overemphasize the importance of getting it right in the next couple of days. It's the beginning of a journey, and I will be back soon in order to carry out that journey. But I want to tell the folk running today's conference that if they hear the two phrases, we can't do this because it's too difficult, we can't do this because it's too expensive, they haven't to accept those comments. It's too important to fail. I just want to finish by quoting something. A few years ago, my eldest daughter decided that her younger siblings were in need of a bit of uplifting support, and she enrolled them in a text service. Every day they get an uplifting quote. A few years ago, she decided that her parents were also in need of a bit of uplift, so she enrolled her mother and myself in the same process. And just half an hour before I started this interview, I got today's text. What it says is, we worry about what a child will become tomorrow, yet we forget that he is someone today. If we remember what children are today, what they're experiencing, and we acknowledge our duty to make life better for those children, we will need to worry a lot less about what they will become tomorrow. So good luck with your deliberations today. I will be on the edge of my seat at my European meeting wondering what's going on, but I'm sure you will have good deliberations with good outcome. Whatever you do, please don't disappoint Scotland's children.